The Chronicles of the Crisis, the series. The Osiris Myth. Crowns, Serpents, and the Story of Tonight. With the four now hanging out as a single unit, they just end up going on even more adventures together. This story isn't about their childhood, though. We're not going to follow them on every single adventure they've ever been on. We still have an entire rest of the story to tell. We'll kind of just fast forward through things here. At the very least, we can see what effects these adventures have on the kids. Some stunts are more dangerous than others, but the four eventually get to a point where they learn to trust one another. Set and Isis kinda reach a point of mutual respect, and Osiris proves he's a capable leader time and time again. He and Isis hit it off pretty well as childhood sweethearts, seeing as they both have an appreciation for rules and order. And yes, I know they're brother and sister, but you guys gotta remember, this is Egyptian mythology we're talking about. Set is more rambunctious than the other three combined, but he does find a friend in the quiet and timid Nephthys. It's important to note that we last saw Nephthys when Thoth was going into one of his ballistic crazes about Set being a demon spawn, but she still sets that aside, and she feels sorry for him rather than scared of him. These two really don't turn out in the same way that Osiris and Isis do. Nephi kind of nurses her own crush on Osiris, you see. But they're still really good friends. As the years go on, the four's childish adventures give way to an increased amount of duties. They still have to train to be gods, after all. Thanks to their magical prowess, Isis and Nephthys finish their training long before Osiris and Set do. Because of their stress on tag team abilities, Isis learns that it's okay to rely on others every once in a while. And Nephthys, well, she learns to have more confidence in herself. The twins develop a deeper trust in one another than ever before, and they often confide in one another. This is how they learn that they both have feelings for Osiris. The two boys, meanwhile, end up spending quite a long while learning their strengths and weaknesses under Ra's supervision. Osiris demonstrates that he is capable in a fight, but that his good sense is better suited for courtly duties. Ra knows he'll make a great pharaoh, but he also knows that Osiris will need the support of his siblings if he's to do great works. Set, while he might not be as eloquent or charismatic as his brother, is frightfully strong. Ra decides that this strength would be best used in aiding him on his nightly journey through the underworld. Ra's only getting older, after all. His journeys through the underworld are necessary for the daily cycles of sunrise and sunset to take place, but they have him constantly risking life and limb as various demons, including the great embodiment of evil and corruption, Apophis, constantly assault the sun barge. Having an extra hand would definitely help him out. So, while Osiris focuses on learning politics, Set is learning how to kill! Kill evil things, I promise. And so, the years continue to roll by. Seasons change, and small things become big. Some get bigger than others. The four grow from young apprentices to master gods. And now, as they're just crossing over into adulthood, Osiris is a few days away from his kingly coronation. The adorable young prince has become quite the handsome heartthrob, so he's earned the attention of mortals and deities alike. Despite that regal outward appearance, though, Osiris is really just the same sweetheart as ever. Ra has tried to teach Osiris that he can't just let everyone walk all over him once he's king, but Osiris wants to believe that every problem in the kingdom can be solved with a little kindness and a little elbow grease. Isn't that cute? While Osiris might not be the forceful type, though, someone else definitely is. Set's grown up too, from an awkward little cub into an imposing wall of muscle. While he might not be as good-looking as his brother, he's still damn strong, and he provides just the right kind of support Osiris needs. While Osiris can be a bit of a stickler, or might be a little too passive sometimes, Set is always there to help him loosen up and give him a little push to take charge. Despite all the changes, they're still brothers, and they're the best of friends. Set's actually pretty excited for Osiris' coronation. Of course, seeing as Set's all grown up and fucking scary now, there is a snowball's chance in hell for Thoth to somehow get rid of him now. From here on out, he's going to have to try and take a less direct angle to get rid of Mr. McMurderface. Speaking of murder, though, there really hasn't been any sort of sign that Thoth's vision will come true. That's somewhat comforting to the moon god, seeing as he hasn't found any way of stopping Set on his own. Sure, Set can have a temper, and his strength is pretty intimidating, but so far, he hasn't been all that violent. Excluding that little disaster where he first learned his powers, of course. He and Osiris still balance each other out pretty well, and now he's got another friend to keep him in line. Thoth doesn't start raving or yelling about demon spawn anymore, probably because Set's not afraid to fight his face off now, and he tries to appreciate all the good that's coming to Egypt as a result of the Four's rise to greater godhood. But even with all this, he still can't shake his worry. So, just to make sure that all goes well, Thoth decides to preside over the coronation himself. While Ra might be the one handing over the crown, Thoth can make sure that nothing else goes wrong. And the ceremony kicks off without a hitch. The mortals come and gather before the luxurious setup that Ra and Thoth prepare, and all the corporeal gods show up to see the crown pass from one generation to the next. Ra is actually kind of looking forward to retirement, and the charismatic Osiris is a warm and welcome sight to all. The four come onto the stage as a group, before Osiris steps beyond his siblings. He walks forward, ready to take the role he was born to fill. Ra gives his blessing as the young king-to-be kneels before him, and at last the crown is set upon Osiris's head. All the while, Thoth is off to the side. His eyes aren't on Osiris, but on Set. He thinks that the dark deity almost looks like a coiled serpent laying in wait. Is destruction inevitable? Everyone. The mortals, the older gods, the siblings. They all look so happy. There's smiles and shining faces everywhere. Thoth is a little disturbed. This just seems far too good to be true. Is he just imagining things? Osiris stands up, the crown of Egypt upon his head. He is the new pharaoh over the worlds of the living and the dead, and all present at the affair cheer for him. The celebration finally begins.